2, 1, 2. Here we go. All right, great. This is great. I don't have to yell at you guys. Well, hello and welcome to our first Sga Town Hall of the semester. We are thrilled that you guys, as audience members, are here today. We have a special shout out to Eagle Media. We're grateful that you're here today and that you are live streaming this. We welcome our online viewers. We're glad that you're here with us today as well. I am Tyler Clark. I'm the student body president here at OC. This is Taylor Dotson, our vice president of SGA. Mr. Hunter Cade, looking very studious over there, our SGA treasurer. And over here taking notes and managing slides is our wonderful secretary, Molly Peterson. We do have some special members in the audience today of the Student Government Association. We've got Mads, Kylie, Elise, kinda, and Nate, as well as Thomas. Thomas is here as well. So. And Kayla and Hope as well. Oh, man, guys, it's so great that you guys are here today. Hopefully we'll be able to field some of our questions to you guys as well. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and begin. So, some of you might be asking yourself, what is the OC SGA Town Hall? Well, the town, and Taylor is going to go ahead and tell you guys a little bit about our committees.
It will bring you to our website, which I really encourage you guys to check out. We have a lot of good information on there. All of our committees are listed on there. So we are comprised of 13 different committees that encompass different areas on campus. So anything from academics to campus improvements to healthy living, spiritual life, we have it all covered. And this is where a lot of the work gets done. It's really not us four. It's all the committee chairs and then their committee members, which are Senate members, and then as well as like outside recruitment, outside volunteers. And so this is where all the projects are done. So, so yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, I could go line by line if you wanted to, but I don't know if you want to.
Also, Spring Sing and Homecoming, SGA is technically in charge of that as well. We hire an executive director, and they form a team, and Liz McElroy, our SGA sponsor, works very diligently with them. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and go on to our next portion. These are some of the questions that we have received online. So the first question is, what can the SGA do to better acquaint older and non-traditional students to campus? Taylor, you want to take this one?
Yeah. Okay, so this is basically, we have not a large population of non-traditional students, but we do, and we still need to serve those students. And we do this through a variety of ways. We do have an off-campus representative and then a graduate student representative. And then they are the people that will be the representative voice of those populations. And so really it's about connecting those representatives to their constituencies, to those people. And so that's one way that we are currently trying to do that. And if you guys have ideas about how we can further that.
Something that we were able to do last year with our graduate student rep was we were able to do some outside recruiting, which if you guys want to join a committee, we would love to have you, so please let us know afterwards or email us. But we recruited a graduate student from all of the colleges that we have graduate schools in, and they met together on occasion and talked about how to better serve the graduate students here at OC. Also, we have a large Indian population within our within the engineering program at OC, the graduate program. And through the efforts of the Multicultural Committee a few years ago, we formed an International Student Council, and in that an Indian Student Association, and they were really able to draw in a lot of our Indian students on campus. They played cricket under the clock tower. They would come to the brew and hang out, or they would come to the Dub and get some workouts in. So that's another way that the SGA has brought in students that have not traditionally been super involved on campus. Do you guys have any follow-up questions on that? Any other thoughts from the executives? Kylie.
What exactly is a non-traditional student?
That's a good question. I think that that's open to interpretation as it was not defined in the question, but I would think of it as those who perhaps not undergrad, perhaps commuters or those that live off campus, whatever the majority is not, I might consider perhaps more of a non-traditional student.
Do you have like a commuter rep in SGA?
Whoa, mind blown. We do not have a commuter rep, but
I mean,
we do have
essentially
off-campus representatives. But those that have served as the off-campus representative, to my knowledge, all of those have been very close on campus.
Nearby is in the housing.
Yeah. Worth taking into consideration and adding to be one of our positions. Great idea, Caleb. All right, and our next question, why do we have a froyo machine? You guys, this has been some big hubbub up and around campus about our newly acquired froyo machine. Some people are worried that their scholarship dollars have been going to this froyo machine. Some people are mad that they don't have strawberry. We've gotten it all as the student government. So we took it upon ourselves to go figure out the answer to this question for you guys. And our response back from you dining was Kurt Hermanson. He said, I was trying to find something different that we could add this year and was doing some research and saw the froyo robot. I inquired about it because I've never seen one before, and lo and behold, they were just opening up the Oklahoma market. So I had them come talk to me this summer and found out everything I needed to know and signed a contract for them to place one at Oklahoma Christian. We do not own the machine, so U-Dining does not own the machine, the school does not own the machine. The gentleman that comes out owns the franchise and will start placing more in Oklahoma City. We just happen to be the first one placed in Oklahoma. The whole thing does not cost anything, and U-Dining gets 10% of sales. The company that runs and builds the machine is Rise and Ernie's, and the franchise owner is Christopher. So yeah, and then he said if we have any further questions that we could ask him. So do you guys have any further questions about our froyo machine in the student center?
So it's not taking any money out of Doson's budget?
Correct. It's just the money that comes out of your wallet into the machine. Yeah.
That makes me feel a lot better about it.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
I was kind of mad about it.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And then our last question that we received online, what happened to the basketball goals out on the tennis courts? They were moved over the summer, and I don't know why. We emailed the Dean of Students, Dean Neil Arter, and his response was this. Those are owned by OC Page Camps. They're up there for the summer and then taken down. When they have been left out, they've been broken. At one point, SGA put some portable goals out there on the tennis court for student use, but each time they were broken down and they were removed and trashed. Sad. Are there any other questions about that? I wonder if there would be a way to get a more indestructible basketball type goal out there. We do have a campus improvements committee that has their own budget that is allocated to them to do projects, undertake projects such as these. They do receive a smattering of requests, but this could be something that we could bring to their attention to see if they'd be willing to take on. Yeah?
I know whenever I was in SGA, I brought up the option of maybe redoing the courts because the courts are in really bad shape.
That's a great idea. That would definitely be a more...
It might be a little pricey, but it's kind of pitiful. So.
Yeah, a project of a broader scope than what Campus Improvements has done in the past. However, SGA 2 years ago has started, under Zechariah McNeil, have started a philanthropic aspect to both Spring Sing and Homecoming. And so it might be worth submitting that project through those efforts, and that could be a way that we might be able to get that done. Great. Any other questions about the basketball goal courts? Great. And now we're going to go on to our next slide, which is ideas that we've received. This one just said unsalted nuts and more variety of fruit in the cafeteria. So if you don't know, we are getting a new cafeteria. I don't know if that's going to come with unsalted nuts and more fruit, but yes, please. That sounds quite nice. So we will certainly relay that request to U-Dining. Yeah, they're actually, if you didn't know, they're breaking ground tomorrow. So like, construction is going to begin soon, and we're going to be getting that new cafeteria soon. And then another individual posed both a problem and a solution. So I put this under the idea portion, but the problem is that different general education courses are more difficult depending on the professor. So if you come here as a freshman, you're signing up for your classes, you might take a doozy of an American government class, have a really low GPA because of that. Whenever if you had some upperclassmen friends or you knew about Rate My Professor, you could have avoided that landmine. The solution that they offered up was to have a committee who sits on the first 2 or so classes of each class section and looks through the syllabi to determine that each class section is the same relative level of difficulty. If there's any way to fix this, it'd be greatly appreciated. I think it's a serious flaw in the collegiate system. That's a great idea. So Taylor has some thoughts on that.
So SG actually just passed a new bylaw. We're going to have representatives from each college. So I wonder if we could possibly institute these reps to have conversations with their deans about, I guess, normalizing the gen ed courses. So each professor has the same syllabi, the same expectations, the same grading material. So then all of the freshmen, all the people taking these gen ed courses are held to the same standards. And so I think that would be a great first project for our new college representatives.
We also took it upon ourselves to reach out to the Dean of Academic Affairs, Dr. Scott Lamaskis, to receive his thoughts on this. And he has said that he'd love to work with us on this in the future. So we'll connect our academics committee and he brought up that the way that OC runs its classes, so he says, I appreciate the students' question and believe there are extremely good answers, both for how OC manages most of our core general curriculum through coordinated syllabi with the same learning outcomes, standardized workloads, and other elements to ensure quality. He says, composition, psychology, and many others use this, which is the best practices approach across quality programs in American higher education. If you want to look more into that and kind of learn what the other schools are doing, it sounds like it is part of a larger system that gives the ability to have varying difficulties within those general education courses, but we will connect our academics committee and Dr. Lamaskis to discuss that further. Are there any follow-up questions from our audience? Excellent. All right, it's a free-for-all, y'all. So we have some sample ideas and questions, like if you want to know why does OC do this thing? Or what role does the OC Board of Trustees have on OC's campus? Why are we required to live on campus? How can I join a club? What can I do to join an SGA committee? Anything and everything. Nothing is off limits. We might redirect a question if it's a little too shady, but that's okay. Yeah, here we go.
This is actually from the freshman in my dorm.
Great.
As the RA representative. Is day week happening?
Yes, Date Week is happening. So I think the tentative dates are November 12th through the 16th. And Date Week's going to be a little bit different this year. It's not going to just be so much pressure on having a date. And so we're actually, the Activities Committee is meeting tonight to discuss it further. So I guess I can go ahead and share some stuff on it. So we're also not necessarily calling it Date Week. We're calling it Eagles in Paradise, like Bachelor in Paradise. It's fine. Also the tagline is now, for some it'll end in romance, for some it'll end in heartbreak, and for the rest of us, it's just cheap entertainment. Yeah, so it's just going to be some good fun. We're going to have some good activities that week. We're going to try to have a lot of them on campus, because I know a lot of people don't have cars, they don't want to spend the gas money. So we're going to have a lot of stuff on campus that's still a fun thing for you and your boo or you and your friends. So it is happening, it's coming. The announcement will probably come out next week. So.
And that is straight from the mouth of our activities chair, Ms. Taylor Dodson. What other questions do we have? Thanks for that question, Kayla. Yes?
The potholes on campus. They're just really bad. It's like patching them up and then more show up. And I literally took my car to the mechanic today because I thought the shocks on my car were broken, but it's just like my axle might not be as well as it used to be because I literally just bought my car and I've just been really upset with the potholes. Like I complain about them every day.
That is the worst. And a collective sigh just through the room. Wow. I do know that, let's see, I believe it was 2 summers ago, I know that the university utilized quite a bit of money to help fix the roads. That being said, there's still quite a bit of things to be fixed, and there new potholes will pop up. What can we do as the SGA to help with the potholes? I would say that we could start by, we would reach out to our campus improvements committee and ask them to start a conversation with the administrators, with those that take care of physical things on campus, to ask what is the process for either raising funds to get that fixed, can we expedite that process, and what needs to happen there. Do we have any other thoughts? We could, if campus improvements were willing, they could even offer up some funds to help with that. Is there any particular area of the road that is particularly troublesome that we can highlight to the administrators?
The entire road.
The entire road, ladies and gentlemen. That's great. Okay, any other thoughts? Kylie?
Are you talking about like in campus or like the roads like right by like?
No, like in campus.
Okay.
Like the roundabout, the circle.
Yeah.
Just like
Which is the worst area?
the worst part is like around that when you're coming towards DAH by the baseball.
Oh,
To go, like,
where the barn is at, like that corner.
Yeah, that corner, like everything in that, like, because there was a really big pothole, and I'm happy they fixed it. But like this pothole, like you would bottom out in this pothole. It was so big.
Oh, I bottom out in that.
Yeah, it was really bad. And like people just don't notice it sometimes because it's dark, and they just like go straight into it, and like you just hit your head on the roof of your car.
That's intense. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
What other questions do we have? Kylie?
Okay. I haven't really formulated exactly what my question is yet, but I'll just kind of think out loud. So I think something that our campus is doing really well is like having conversations about mental health and like that stigma, and like the You Shine program is awesome, and I know that was like fairly new, and I think that's growing and doing really well. And I know I've talked with a couple people, myself included, that are in the process of getting an ESA, an emotional support animal. There's quite a few people actually that have like dogs or whatever as part of like their treatment to help with anxiety or whatever it is. And I guess not only that, but just some other practical implications that mental illnesses can have on people, including like having to miss classes or just things along that line. So I think I really like the direction campus is going with the stigma on mental illnesses and that conversation, but when it comes to practical things, I feel like it's kind of, there's like a disconnect. So whenever like you miss class, like there's really nothing like in the syllabus talked about, like if you're sick, you go to the doctor or something, like you're physically ill, you're able to make things up, but if it's due to like a mental illness, then there's really not anything set on that. And as far as like the ESA thing goes, the counseling center does an awesome job, and I can't remember who all was going to talk to, but different departments are like really encouraging, or student success, Amy Jansen and all of them that are in charge of that, they're really for it, and they take the steps very quickly. And then it's like on the housing end of things where that really slows down, and they're not, they don't really like the idea as much, and they're the ones that deny students that. So I guess, I don't know, is there any like practical steps or things that can be taken to kind of like bridge the gap from just talking about mental illnesses and then like what it actually looks like to accommodate for it?
Sure.
So I know as far as the housing guidelines go, I know in the student handbook there is like a list of ESA things. It's actually right after the section of students with disabilities. And so it could be a thing where our rules and revisions committee looks at those and then starts a conversation with the housing coordinator and the director of housing to see, why are students being denied? Does it have to do with they're not meeting all the requirements? So we could kind of start those conversations. And as far as missing classes goes, I know that something that will help is reaching out to the counseling center on campus And then also just reaching out to just like anyone on campus, like trying to find an adult mentor, trying to talk with someone. I know that Sheldon in the counseling center, he's really willing to work with people. And then I'm not sure what specific accommodations they do for classes, but I do know that all of that is kept confidential, but then it's also documented very well. So if you are needing to miss classes, miss different things on campus, that's a good way to get accommodations.
I have a follow-up with that. This is bad because I was an RA last year, but I don't really remember. At the beginning of the semesters or whatever, whenever we have the dorm meetings and stuff, is there a section, like I know there's like protocol things like they all have to go over, but is there a section on like mental health and what you can do for like stuff like that, or ESAs and stuff? Because I think that might be a good thing to be added into that.
So I can speak on the end of it. So we do touch on like what animals are allowed in the dorms, which is like fish in less than a 10-gallon tank, and then we do talk about like how like the ESA works. And so it is like very student to student based, like how it's gonna handle. But most of the time, if you like qualify for an ESA, like you are in a private room, and different things. Once again, that depends on the student and their roommate. So it's a lot more like difficult once like the semester gets started, like to apply. We like recommend that you apply at the beginning of the semester or at the end of the semester into the next semester. And then also with like the mental health things, like we use Lighthouse. If students reach out to us and we have like a line of how it works through the system, and then we do work closely with the counseling center. And so if they experience concerns that like they feel we need to be made aware of, they let our RDs are made aware of that situation, and then they are presented to the RAs if you're in our hall.
Is that like mentioned at the meeting?
It is mentioned at the meeting that the students are aware that we are working with the counseling center, and we do like direct a lot of students that way. And then we do have like the U Shine and different things, and like the Coliseum posted throughout the dorm, so it is made aware of the students. And we do go through the I can't think of the training that's led by Sheldon.
The QPR?
Yes, QPR.
Also, just brainstorming, I just had the thought that maybe we could address this with our healthy living committee a little bit. In the past, healthy living has focused on physical living healthy. I feel like more that's kind of been the focus, but that could also, be used to reach mental health as well. So maybe that's a good place to start, would be having conversations with those people. Mallory Mueller's our chair for that, and she's awesome. So she might be a good place to start for that. Just a thought.
Also, Kylie, you brought up a great point. I think that we could start a conversation with housing, and I think housing, like where you're living, where you are when you are down in the dumps. If during those meetings, if like the RDs and RAs were willing, they could really say like address specifically like not just like, oh yeah, and if you have this is the kind of animals you can have, blah blah blah, but like really like be intentional and personable. Where like if you are struggling, like we're here with you, living here with you. You can always come to us, like if you have a problem or something like that. So that could be a conversation that we could have as well. That you brought up a lot of different areas to help bridge that gap. Is there anything else more specifically where you'd like to talk about?
I don't think so right now.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, Kylie. What other questions? Yes, in the back.
Okay, sometimes it's like scheduling thing. Sometimes like rooms will be double booked. The other night I had a Bible study, an ethos Bible study, and there were 3 different things scheduled in that room at the same time, even though his study was planned like way in advance and 3 things were happening. And then also sometimes a lot of things will be going on one night and then nothing will be happening another night. And then also sometimes things are scheduled like when church is happening on Wednesday nights. And so just kind of scheduling and booking issues.
Definitely, yeah. That's a great concern that you bring up there. Depending on the room that is being reserved for a majority of campus, those are done through OC's websites under events and calendar.
So for booking events and different activities, it's done through, I think it's called EMS, and you go on the calendar and see, and there's a submitted event at the top, and then that's how you're supposed to reserve really any room on campus, I think except for the conference rooms and the libraries. That's through the library. But so I would definitely encourage people to be using that. So I don't know if maybe we can talk with events, maybe there's been an issue there, or maybe it's just been, you know, people just pile into a room for an event, I don't know. Yeah, so it's for events.
And then the conference room and the brew, that is run by the Ethos office. If you're wanting to reserve that, you have to go through them, not the events office.
That was the room in question.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the best way to do that is to email probably like Ruth LaFon, and she'll help book that if it is booked through her.
In Newhouse last year that were not talked about. And so like, I just feel like if that's like if they're talking about stuff we've done, like why aren't they talking about it in Newhouse or Newhouse? Because some people are obviously could be going through things and they don't talk about it. So I feel like it'd be nice if there was like a general like plan for like what should be said at meetings that like at dorm meetings that should be across the board for every housing, no matter like if it's like Warlick or like Tinius or whatever. But like they didn't say like any of that stuff that you talked about, they didn't talk about any of that. Like we just went through slides about like who to call when your water's not working.
Gotcha, yeah. That's a great suggestion, to have a uniform message that is sure to be said during those meetings in regards to mental health. Madison, you had some enthusiastic nods. Do you have anything else? I know you were an RA. Not so much.
I was an RA. I am no longer an RA.
Yes. Okay, very good. Well, we will...
I'll leave it there.
Yeah, we will be glad to pass that on to Breslov. Cool.
That's a great idea, though. I like that.
Most definitely.
You're on the second floor. I was on the third floor where all that stuff was happening.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know. Anyway, onward.
Onwards. Other questions? And then we'll move on to the idea segment. Awesome. Oh yeah, yes.
Pothole again.
Pothole.
This is more like, I guess, like a campus safety issue. There are like no lights on campus at night. Especially, I noticed last night I was out at my car and it was like maybe 8 or 9 o'clock, and I noticed that the lights were not on in Lawson Commons.
Yeah.
And like normally when they are on, they're like yellow lighting, so it's kind of dim, and it just seems kind of dangerous because people do walk through campus, like they walk off the trail and into campus sometimes, and so you just see like people, and it's just dark and it doesn't seem very safe. Like even on the trail, like the trail doesn't seem as well lit as it could be, and there could probably be more like those call safety buttons around campus. Like I don't walk the trail at night, but like I know people that do, that go on runs at night. I don't know why, but it just seems really dangerous to not have any lights on campus at all, besides like the only lights you see shining through campus are coming from the student center.
Yeah, definitely. We will talk to our campus improvements committee about that to see if they can start some conversations, perhaps some brighter LED lights around the Lawson Commons in general area campus. Also, perhaps better lighting around the trail. I know that they do have those police phone call boxes. That is it's like every certain amount of feet. If you're on the trail, you'll always be this far away from a call box. There's quite a few of those, but perhaps better lighting around the trail would be better as well.
Yeah, and to go off of that, I was walking to the SGA meeting 2 days ago, or yesterday, and there were like literally no lights. Like I was walking in the dark by those like 4 original buildings. So there's something else to add.
So I've noticed that too, and I think those are actually on a timer, possibly, those lights are, because certain times they're not on, and then other times they are, so I think we can certainly look into fixing that timer, and because, yeah, like I ride my bike through there, and at night it's like, you just never, someone's laying down, like, I mean, I'm just running over them, because, I mean, you can't see anything, so, yeah.
just close your eyes and hope for the best.
So last year I was the campus improvements chair, and we actually talked about this a lot. We were really concerned about this. And we had several conversations with administrators, but the issue was that there was a lot of, it's a very expensive thing to put in lights. So we actually funded a light that I think was put up by the business building, but overall, like, it was very difficult to get anything going because there were so many issues with like wiring and expenses, but I think it's a very valuable and very important thing to take care of. So I will encourage that committee to continue working on that this year and see if we can get maybe just some sort of project going, even outside of SGA, but just help kind of encourage that to happen because we need more lighting. It needs to be safer on campus.
Yeah, and perhaps kind of an easy first step. I didn't even be talking to King Bryant. What's the office? Campus, physical plant. They might be the guys to talk to, but we can even say, hey, what are the areas that are at most risk, the most cross traffic, but not as well lit, and then we could perhaps approach the campus improvements committee where it might be in their scope this year to fund at least one light in that area. So there are things that we can do there. It's a great question. All right, and if that is our last question, we can go ahead and move on to a slightly different portion, which is ideas. So far online we have unsalted nuts and more fruit, and also perhaps making our classes a little bit more even in level of difficulty. Some suggestions. We want everything from like Eagles in Paradise date ideas, fun activities you want to see, places you want Eagle Bucks, how to get good participation at sports, fine arts, club stuff events, service ideas, how to make homecoming better, like anything. Like this is your school, this is yours, this is your student government, let's make it happen. What do you got?
That actually reminded me from last year when I was in RA. We talked about Eagle Bucks one time randomly, and I just remember there was an overwhelming amount of people that would love to have Eagle Bucks at Starbucks. Mm-hmm. And I think that was actually something since everyone was doing anyway, but just to reiterate that. Yeah.
That's a great idea. I know I was just at Lubbock Christian University this past weekend, and they have a Starbucks on campus that is able to do that. I wonder if big businesses like Starbucks, I wonder if like it has to be on the university and like UDining would run it or something to be able to accept it. But that's a conversation that we could start for Starbucks. It's so close to campus. I would like to personally have it in the record that I requested bronze Eagle Bucks. So
amen.
Amen. Yes. Chocolate chip cookie dough. Yes.
Yes.
Hang on a second. What committee do we think could really kind of head that up? Eagle Bucks. Who would that fit under?
Nope.
Yeah, not spirit.
Perhaps, yeah. Campus improvement seems to be getting hit a little bit hard tonight, but that could be.
Because there's costs with getting the leaders for
That's true.
the businesses.
That's true. Yeah.
So I love the Starbucks idea, but I know that we have run into a problem with that because of the brew being on campus, and we want to support our on-campus coffee shop. So I don't remember who, it wasn't me that tried to do that last year with Starbucks, but I know that someone's tried to, and it was kind of shot down because of the brew. So I don't know, it's kind of one of those like, would the brew be upset? I mean, I would hope not, but would Starbucks be willing to do it? I don't know. There might be some loopholes or some hoops we have to jump through a little bit to get there. But just a point I wanted to bring up.
So I'm a huge fan of Starbucks. I think I'm their #1 customer. So I am biased, but then also we also want to make sure that we have diversity with the Eagle Box. You know, we don't want like Chick-fil-A, Cane's, and like Chicken Express. You know, like we want diversity with different food options and stuff. So I think Starbucks is a good idea and we could look into it, but I also think like possibly expanding into more diverse food opportunities. So like Brahms would be possibly a good idea because they do have like the grocery section as well as fast food ice cream. So.
Do you know off the top of your head like all the places that Eagle Bucks are accepted?
Okay, so with Sonic, On Q, Chick-fil-A on campus, Alfredo's on campus, Brew on campus, and Alfredo's off campus. And then Jimmy John's, yeah. Of course, Jimmy John's campus.
Oh, Eagle Bucks in the vending machine?
Okay, so I was campus brew chair my sophomore year, the year before Molly. And that was something that I had asked about, and I have not inquired since. I don't know if it's possible.
Okay.
But like, we could definitely talk with you, Diane, about contacting like the vending machine provider. I know also when the furry machine got sent out, someone asked, are they taking Eagle Bucks? And so I just sent an email over to you, Diane, and they're looking into possibly adding Eagle Bucks into the furry machine. It wasn't like confirmed or anything, they were just gonna look into that possibility. So we can possibly see about vending machines on campus.
Within a given semester, if you run out of Eagle Bucks, do you get more? Can you raise your hand if you do?
Yes.
And raise your hand if you don't.
I know.
Okay, so just by like a simple survey, we can say, hey, if there are more opportunities for students to spend money on campus, they'll get more, it's more money coming your way. So cool. Yeah. Hope, what do you got?
What about Eagle Bucks at Whataburger?
I chicken biscuit. Oh yeah, IHOP. That's mostly me.
IHOP.
So I know this was brought up, I think it was possibly at one of the sessions where you can ask John DeSteiger just anything. And I believe the answer for why, so similar to why like we haven't gotten Brahms as Eagle Bucks, is because it's too closely connected to being in the same sort of fast food chain as Sonic. And so anyways, yeah, so I think if we have something very similar, even though like Sonic and Brahms, they have differences, and even Whataburger, just the aspect of it's kind of a mainly hamburger type of, which they have all sorts of other stuff there. I think that is one of the causes for concern as to why that's not a thing. Just because I don't know if it costs Sonic and all the other places money to use the Eagle Bucks, but I do know that it, for Sonic, at least I've seen that it's been in the past just kind of just something extra that they've had to work with. So.
Kayla.
With that, is there a way we could like work in where we could tip like at Sonic with Eagle Bucks? Because I know like the people kind of get a little angry when you use your Eagle Bucks, but then you're like, LOL, like I don't have my Eagle Bucks, my debit card, so like you can have this random penny I found on the floor. So like I don't know if there's a way we could do that.
Or coupons that you have in your dash, you can tip them with coupons.
Yeah. Coupon to Whataburger.
Yeah. Mads?
On the Sonic side of things, they, at the moment, you can't even tip like on your card, really, or like through the app or anything. That's coming soon to tip on all those things. So I would say adding an Eagle Bucks would be further off, at least from like the corporate side of things. That would be something that we would have to develop.
Mm-hmm. It might be good while that conversation is happening within corporate Sonic to put in a nice little suggestion to consider those universities that do have Eagle Buck equivalents. I don't know if that conversation is going on as well. Yeah.
Not for me, that is above my figure.
Yeah, that's true.
But if I can tell you where to send a request, yeah.
Yeah, good. Actually, yes, probably. I would like to know that. Good idea, Kayla. Caroline?
Can we hashtag support vocal with our Eagle Bucks? So what I'm saying is maybe like I know John Steiger really wants students to gather shells and go places off campus and go explore in the city, and maybe we could expand besides 0.2 miles from campus.
And besides chains.
And besides chains.
Yes.
Yeah, so I do know that the Eagle Buck machines, I believe the price that I got from you, Dining, was about, I think it was like $1,000 to $2,000 for the machine itself. So there's like a cost with the machine, and then the company that we have it with, the place that we have it, they have to accept it. And like, they have to like want to deal with that with like their own POS system. So, basically it could be a thing where SGA covers the cost of the machine, if that was something we were interested in, and then we could like expand those ways.
Sorry, I have like with that, could we just like maybe like express like places local that like offer student discounts? Because like I know I ate at some Greek place the other day and they were like, hey, FYI on Thursdays is 25% off for students, and it's like expressed to UCO because they're like bigger than us. So I don't know if like there's a way like maybe we could like send out like an email that's like, these places have discounts.
If I'm not mistaken, and maybe Elise can answer, did the Talon write an article on student discounts?
I think that we did last year.
Okay.
But that could probably be updated and more research could be done.
A couple weeks ago, I visited the Student Senate meeting at the University of Central Oklahoma and then got to go check out their office afterwards with their president and had a conversation with them as they're collecting restaurants around the area that do offer those discounts. And I asked, hey, why don't we mention OC as well and see if they're willing to do that? So that is something that I will personally follow up on. And that would just be a nice little tag-along way to ride the wave with UCO with those discounts. So, yeah. Thanks, Kayla. Did we have one in the back?
Yes. What about Eagle Bucks at a movie theater? Maybe.
I like it. Yeah, Eagle Bucks at a movie theater.
Oh, no, that was not that.
Any other ideas? Great. All right, well, we are very grateful to you guys for coming out here tonight, sharing your questions, thoughts, and concerns with us. We are looking to have these town halls on a pretty regular basis, every month, every other month type deal, or if a special concerns arise, we could call a special one. So we're glad you guys are here and grateful for those thoughts and ideas that you shared with us tonight. So you're dismissed.